Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable. Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
This is the beginning of something special. something different. The games may change, but competition and skill do not. Students coming together to represent Fresno State with support and leadership. Fresno State students will discover and develop their potential. From all walks of life, esports players are passionate, driven, dedicated, and bold. They'll train, learn, and grow together, striving to be the best gamers and future leaders in our community and world.
Rise up. Esports has come to Fresno State, and it starts now.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for more NECC esports action. We're headed back up to the Champions Division. Now, still in the West, Lincoln Land versus Fresno State Blue. And I am Lars Newt. Joining me here in the casting booth is Leachy. And yes, I am actually in the casting booth right now, despite popular belief. Leachy, what are you doing tonight?
What are you suggesting? Where else would you be? I'm so confused. I'm doing fine, I guess. Now I'm confused, but can we talk about Rocket League for a second?
Yeah, we could talk about Rocket League.
Okay, thanks.
Lincoln Land, a force to be reckoned with out here. Very, very solid team has taken down some of the top teams in this region. On the flip side, we have Fresno State, who's had a little bit of a rougher season so far. They're going to be looking to make a statement on the top of Lincoln Land.
Especially given the fact that this is a rematch. Back in week 1 of the NECC, this matchup already happened, and it went in a sweep towards Lincoln Land. So Fresno State Blue has a little bit to prove here, given that A, they already lost in a sweep to Lincoln Land once, and B, they are pretty solidly at the bottom of the table. Unfortunately, there are 7 teams in the West Champions Division. They are number 7 on a record of 1-6. The next team up above them, Montana and P6, are 4-4. So Fresno State Blue has a very long way to go in terms of, like, they have absolutely no chance to make playoffs, but at the very least they could, I don't know, up their dignity,
a long way,
you know, work on upsets and stuff.
That you could almost say that it's an impossibly long way, Leachy.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, you know, as we've been paying such close attention, I know that you're already aware that this happened because you have been just laser focused. Is this matchup? This style of matchup has already happened tonight between Boise State Blue and University of Alabama Huntsville, where Alabama Huntsville beat Boise State 3-0 in week 1, and then Boise State Blue came out and absolutely stunned them tonight in a huge victory. So it'll be interesting to see. Can excuse me. I think I'm actually dying. Can Fresno State repeat that against Lincoln Land?
We will have to find out. Best of 5 starts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, FSU Blue, Hiania, Adrian, and Manny in the blue team, going up against Lincoln Land in orange. Slothish, Becky, and Get Over. Let's get this gameplay underway. Adrian, almost a shot, kind of sort of turned into a pass there. Knocked across, Get Over, a decent catch. Hiania, a decent challenge as well. This one's going to pop off the sidewall. Get Over will have a second crack at this one. Only goes as far as Manny, waiting for this to drop down, just kind of settle into a flip reset, but had his pockets picked before that move got a chance to develop. Slothish, good stab out of the corner. Get Over is up, but he can't quite get above the ball just enough to make that one count. 1 minute gone, Mr. Stats, and it's still 0-0.
There's not a lot of stats at a 0-0 scoreline, but I will tell you this. I heard that hesitation. You wanted to say he couldn't quite get over that top of the ball. But I'm not going to let you get away with that one, Leachy. I hear the pressure coming back the other way. A little bit of a change of pace from what we've seen in the last couple of series is a lot less of that ping-pong gameplay style. We've seen good control on both ends of the field out of both teams. And Becky just kind of feels flip away from that one after a beautiful shooting opportunity. And Manny with an opportunity themselves, but Becky with redemption.
Great move by Becky. Saw that slowdown happen from the attacker and knew that it was a now or never situation to make that challenge. Made it now as opposed to never. And it made all the difference in the world. Almost an attempt there by Lincoln Land. A second one here now by Becky, but can't find this one on target. Hyanea high off that right side wall. Manny can't get up in time. Neither can Adrian. This one is wide open. All Slothish needs to do is direct it on goal, and it was, but Hyanea comes in at the very last second and saves it off to the underside of the crossbar.
Wow, what a way to get this game kicked off. Still 0-0. Get Over has an opportunity. They put it off the post, and Adrian allows that one to drive by. That was close to an own goal. Good patience, however, allows that one to skate by the front of their car. And as these teams look for these opportunities, we've seen a couple of good looks on the net, but nothing crazy threatening so far. And as Get Over gets the first demo of the match, we're still looking for both of these teams to find their first.
Manny will be beaten to this by Slothish. Leaves it to Becky to clear. Get Over waiting in support. Good flip reset. Get Over. No, just off of that right-hand post. This one's off the crossbar. Man, Lincoln Lane can't buy a goal right now. It's been so heavily in their favor in terms of the attacking pressure, but they have nothing to show for it. I mean, the shot total, FSU Blue have only racked up a single shot on target. This one's off as well, the crossbar. Becky, what is that, 8 shots for Lincoln Land, and none of them have found the back of the net.
The pressure is incredible, and the fact that, excuse me, the fact that FSU has been able to keep this one out of their net, to stand tall and prevent any of this pressure from yielding results is absolutely incredible. But you know how I feel about that, Leachy. If you are getting big saves, big defensive plays, that's great. But what it also says is you're getting tons of pressure, and Becky finally, in what may be the cleanest dominance I've ever seen, finds a way to open up the scoreline.
Rotating backwards, I love to see it, and I'm terrified to see it. It all depends on the context of where I am at that moment in time. Caster, love it. Player, hate it. That is a terrifying thing to see, especially with someone of the caliber of Becky flipping their car upside down. Great shot on target. Was almost a second one there by Slothish. About 75 seconds left. Slothish, a wonderful back pass to maintain possession, and the second I say that, Becky gets the uber pinch all the way out. Gives it away. This one's high off the crossbar yet again. Very close. Slothish gets a second touch, but it's not enough to beat Adrian. Get Over, the only one in goal, sends it out to the right. Slothish can't be there to pick it up, but does open the clearing lane, we'll call it, with a bump. Manny out to the right side. Hyanea still on this one. Opens things up a little bit with the demo, but takes their time getting to this ball. Manny, no, the shot, the contact doesn't find the ball. And man, this may just be a one-goal game, Lars. For all of the offensive pressure we've seen, we may go into game 2 with a 1-0 scoreline.
That's super surprising to me, because we've seen so many great opportunities, and the point I was trying to finish when Becky finally found a goal here was I like that teams are able to stand up defensively like FSU has been able to do, but the flip side of that, it says they're just not getting the ball clear. They're not doing a good enough job of sending that ball back the other way. And unfortunately, this is going to finish, unfortunately for FSU, this finishes in favor of Lincoln Land, but not so unfortunately for Lincoln Land. They managed to snake away 1 goal, and that is all they need.
Look at the shot. I mean, that is honestly astonishing. The shot difference there, and the fact that the ending scoreline was only 1-0 to Lincoln Land. That's 10 shots for Lincoln Land as opposed to just 3 for FSU Blue. Lars, you and I both, as well as casters the world around, have said this till we're blue in the face. You outshoot your opponents by a factor of over 3, you're probably going to come away with the win.
Yeah, we try not to give too much credence to points or stat lines and things like that when it comes to actual results on the field. But when you have these huge discrepancies like you have here, it's almost inevitable. And I say almost because at the end of the day, despite that many shots on net, they only managed 1 goal on just an enormous defensive effort on the side of FSU.
4 total saves, but on the other side of that, there were only 3 total saves for Lincoln Land. So this is like, I don't know, as lopsided as I thought this was going to be coming into this, I'm quite surprised at how close this has been, especially when you just look at the numbers. Yeah. There's something to consider there versus, you know, numbers versus actually playing the game. Thank goodness. I mean, it's cliched as all get out, but thank God this game is not played on paper, because it would be significantly more boring, and you could probably just go into every single matchup knowing what the deal was. So I'm glad that as we get into game 2, that it's gonna be close. I hope that we can go all the way to a game 5 for the sake of entertainment. But if not, at least make it close, please.
Leachy over here begging. Well, as this
do you not want a good show?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am Mr. Stats over here. If we could bring the paper back, please, that would be really appreciate that.
I feel safe on paper. The numbers comfort me.
I know what to expect on paper. You can see trends, but let's not put up the crossbar and down and to get over. We'll be able to just run this one back with Becky bumping the turtle towards the net. They don't get the turtle goal, but they do get the first. And it's a much different start than we have seen at game number 1.
I'm a little bit surprised that FSU Blue sent so many players forward that desperately to make that one work. I feel like it was, I mean, far be it for me to criticize, but I feel like that was a pretty obvious play not to swing for, because you had already had 2 swings and a miss. And I don't know, it was a low percentage shot. I feel like they almost certainly would have been better served just kind of rotating out and preserving the defensive solidity, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. I mean, Lincoln Land, listen, Lincoln Land did everything they needed to. I mean, hit the ball on target, forehead, and that's exactly what happened. But I feel like that was more, a mistake on the part of FSU. Slothish will now extend the lead to 2 goals. Lars, we may have spoken too soon about calling this one closely contested.
Get over to Slothish. That's great recognition of change of momentum and throwing that one back downfield. And speaking of great recognition, I am going to call Leachy out here real quick. Far be it from me to criticize. It's a lot of, I mean no offense, but. and then criticizes right? Anyway. Yeah. Exactly. But no, we're just having fun. That's all it is. If we're not making fun of Leachy, that is what we said pre-match, is that we would spend this time making fun of Leachy instead of casting the game. But no, I like to see that Lincoln Land has found a way to make these transition connections work, and they're very dangerous when they're executed effectively. We did see them bind up a little bit, get a little bunched up in that transition. If FSU can find a way to jump that, then they're going to be very effective. They just have to read it fast enough and get there, execute mechanically.
Let's see if it can happen. Manny missing this out of the corner. Oh, get over, missing contact as well. Becky and Adrian facing off. Sent high on that left side wall. Oh, Slothish so close to getting in the way. Becky will be up nice and high, but no teammates to help him out. Slothish. Initially a good idea, but needed to jump on that a little bit sooner, because Hyanea really just swiped that away from him almost as quickly as the move started. Becky with a shot on target. Well saved by Adrian, and Manny looking to build this counterattack. Keeps getting it out. And it goes as far as Get Over, who slams it all the way down into the opposite side. Halftime, Lincoln Land still holding on to this 2-goal lead.
We're seeing FSU get this ball clear, get it down into the offensive end, and we're seeing defensive mistakes out of Lincoln Land. FSU, it just takes them so much just to get the ball down there that they're not left with anything in the tank to make sure that it finds the last little touch into the net. They need to find a way to make that work, to get a little more reserved, and team bumps is not going to help them with that. A little more reserved on the way down, and find a way to have some gas left to finish it off.
I'd love, Lars, if during the next break here, if we could look at the heat map, because what I'm looking at right now, Lincoln Land has an insane amount of touches within their own box, and yet they are the ones that are up 2-0. So to me, that just shows a team that is really, really good at soaking up pressure and then just hitting back on a counterattack.
We talked about this earlier tonight, actually. It's that pressure cooker that builds when you can find an offensive attack down in your opponent's end and you get that rotation established just at the top of the box and you're hammering away and you're just getting desperate and you need to see a goal. Eventually that pressure bursts and it oftentimes results in a goal. The thing is, it can go both ways. If you allow that ball to slip over the top, it ends up back in your own net, and that's what we've seen here. Lincoln Land does a great job, like you said, of soaking up that pressure, really coiling that spring, squeezing it down, and then once they get that opportunity, popping out over the top of FSU to pick up a goal.
Just under a minute left here. Off this corner wall, Adrian trying to keep the pressure on, but won't have enough boost to do so. Manny, a decent touch off of that back wall, but Get Over read that beautifully. 0 boost. Won't show his cards too early on. Gets the pinch out to the right side. Becky off this wall, dropping down. Oh, great second touch. Fooled a teammate as well. Slothish should rotate through to try and get a demo. Don't know if he wound up making any contact there, but the ball is sent out regardless. Over to Hyanea. Pass off that backboard. Sent more horizontal than straight out. Manny, oh, a great read. No, so close to hitting this off of the ceiling. And as it stands, as we get to the final 10 seconds, Hyanea couldn't see that one on target either. Becky just stood up tall. May actually, no, not quite getting a third one, but that was a very good attempt. Time ticks down, Lars. Game number 2 going to Lincoln Land, and we are a single game away from Fresno State Blue reliving the nightmare that happened to them in week number 1 of the NECC.
They've done a great job of standing in here and kind of sticking it to LCC, Lincoln Land Community College. They've done a great job of standing in here, making this a close matchup. Assuming game 3 goes similar to games 1 and 2, then this ends in a sweep. But it's a very close set of games. And if you're just looking at those overall stats, you see, oh, it's a sweep, it's whatever. It's not. They've done a great job of being competitive with this Lincoln Land team. That being said, with how close it's been, Lincoln Land doesn't have a lot of buffer room for mistakes here. And like you said, it pulled it up so that everybody else can see what you're referring to with the amount of just presence and pressure down here in Lincoln Land's end. This is a heat map tracking all of the players from Lincoln Land. Look how much time they spend in front of their own net, as opposed to FSU that really make use of the entire field. I love to see the way they're really using this corner to rotate through, pick up boost, and bring that pressure downfield. Like I said, if they can find a way to capitalize on that, Lincoln Land's in trouble.
Very much. The problem is they haven't. And yes. I'm very surprised at, the fact that things have gone this way. To me, that is a heat map that looks like a team that is being suffocated, beat back into their own half, and yet they're coming away with 2-goal victories. So I mean, positioning wise, I'm kind of at a loss because FSU Blue are everywhere that I would expect them to be for a team that has got great offensive pressure, and they're not making it count enough. Maybe this opening goal from Hyanea is the proper way to get started.
The opening goal for FSU for the series. This is the first time they found a goal, but they do so 5 seconds into game number 3. That's the start they need. Now the question is, can they extend that? Because I don't think 1 goal is going to be enough.
Slothish up high, relying on Becky to get a half-decent clearance. Putting this one on target. Simple save for Manny. Second touch as well. Hyanea. No, actually, Manny will claim this one. Double commit there from Lincoln Land causes the pinch out into the corner. Hyanea, I'm liking the pressure. This is early pressure, and it's only 30 seconds gone, but so far, FSU Blue has been doing everything. If they were doing everything 80% right in games 1 and 2, I would say they're stepped up to about 90 right now.
Well, the last 10% is we're seeing some of that. Get those demos in the rotation, keep this contained, not allow this to be beat back the other way, just like you see here. And then the last, 2%, put the ball in the net, extend this lead, and run away with game 3 here, because that's what you're going to need to shift this momentum going forward in this series.
Manny, ooh, straight up whiff there. Slothish gets a pinch, and Becky positioned beautifully to put that one in. We are back tied.
You mean the team that executes well on offense uses their positions well?
Weird.
What a turn here. I mean, that's what I've been saying all night, is the positional game. So on the individual level, it's 50s. On the team level, it's positioning. You don't get to make big plays without positioning yourselves well and managing your spacing on the field, something Lincoln Land has been doing excellently here, and you can see those results. Becky gets a relatively easy goal by being in the right place at the right time.
Oh, this one probably wasn't quite as easy, but it stung just as much for Fresno State Blue. That is goal number 2 at the far post.
Well positioned Becky yet again, and speaking of positioning, Iania just a little bit of an over-rotate there. Would have had an opportunity to make that save, but unfortunately rotates through the net just a little bit, puts themselves out in front, and once you have that momentum in the front of the net, going the wrong way, if you have a player like Becky that can find a way to put it behind you, you're dead to rights. That's game over.
Iania trying to keep the pressure on. Slothish sends it right back down into FSU's half. Great pass down there from Becky. Get over, won't be scored on, but it's wide open here. Manny will never miss that a day in his life. Back tied once again.
I'm sorry, I was going to make a reference to something that, Leachy, I know you would get, but I think nobody else. Manny it was a great read off the backboard, and we stay competitive through game number 3 here, as FSU has seemed to have found the way to compete with Lincoln Land. Now the question is, can they find a way to crush Lincoln Land?
Becky chasing this one. Iania won't get there first. What a read off the ceiling. Manny's up, has Iania to work with. Takes it himself. Dropping down. 2 players miss it in a row. Adrian won't. That's a great backboard pass. Iania gets up, but not quite at the right angle. Out across the halfway line now. Straight up in the air. Adrian and Slothish facing out. Facing off, rather. In the FSU half. Manny taking his time with the jump again, and Becky, I mean, everyone on Lincoln Land, every single time FSU Blue tries to take their time with the ball and, you know, suss out what the situation is and figure out what the best game plan is, halfway through that sentence, that mental sentence, a Lincoln Land player is already right up in their face trying to stifle any opportunity they could have.
Well, Leachy, I've already said it in every series so far that I've cast tonight. Might as well make it 3 for 3. This is 3s, conveniently enough. That happens to fit. This is 3s. You should always have a player pressuring the ball. You need to have a player committing on the ball, a player rotating, and a player getting boost every single time. Always. It's 3s. It's unforgivable if you're not making pressure happen, and Lincoln Land makes pressure happen.
They do indeed. Manny building his own pressure. What a dunk there. That could have been the stuff of dreams. Slightly off target, as it was. Becky catching this, taking this up the wall. A risky dribble across the face to the goal, but relies on the 50 positioning in midair to deal with this one. Slothish, what was the decision making here? Adrian gets one for free.
Just some pressure down on the net. You need to have calm, cool, collected composure when you're defensive. Slothish looks like they abandoned for boost. They went to go out, recognized that shift in pressure that wasn't going to be the clear that they thought it was, panicked, raced back to the net, and commit to a save that didn't need to happen for another half a second or so. And now Adrian finds one from the mid to extend this lead out to 2. Adrian.
I have nothing to say. 4-2 FSU Blue. You're throwing me for way too many loops. 1:06 left. This could be FSU Blue's game, or one game that they managed to pull off of Lincoln Land. It is very much not over, but at the very least, it'll stop them from repeating the aforementioned nightmare of week number 1. Great pass over to Becky. Adrian stands up tall. Second one across. Manny kind of stalls that one out. Finishes short of the goal. Great shot behind Nia. Very close. Manny will clean it up. 5-2 to FSU Blue. They are looking fantastic right now. I just hope that they can keep it going for the rest of the series.
It's that consistency, that ability to not just execute once, but execute again and again and again. And that's what we've seen here through game 2. Game 3.
5,
so we've
3.
seen here through game 3, 7, 8, 9, 52. That we've seen here through game 3 is
hike. It's 5-2. Less than, I'll take over. I'll save you. Less than 20 seconds left now. They're sending this one long. Get over. Up nice and high. Becky up even higher. Sending the ball up even higher, rather. Dangerous in front of the FSU box, and Becky will get one back. I mean, it'll take nothing short of a miracle to make this one happen. It'll take 2 incredible kickoff goals in the span of 8 seconds. Not technically impossible, but I feel comfortable handing this game 3 to FSU.
Yeah, I think we see a game 4 here, and like we called you out earlier for saying is famous Leachy words, game 4 is where you find out what teams are made of, and that's going to be especially here true for FSU. Looking for that team play up high. Manny off the back wall. Oh man, that would have been a momentum builder going into game number 4. At the end of the day, though, FSU walks away with a very nice win over the top of Lincoln Land, and that's going to take them into game 4 in a very good position.
Most definitely. And wouldn't you know it, the winning team had more shots. 7 shots for FSU Blue compared to just 5 for Lincoln Land. So actually, because of my god-awful caster math, it wasn't quite as disparate as I thought. FSU actually only edging Lincoln Land out by 2 additional goals, or 2 goals and shots there. Clearly, those 2 shots are what made the difference. Don't change anything. I mean, Becky was the only person scoring. Yes, a hat trick is nothing to shake a stick at, but if you can get all 3 of your players to be a scoring threat, then that means you can genuinely keep your opponents on their toes, because they never know who that hit man is, who that target man is going to be, that one person that they need to mark. If you can keep the threat coming from all 3 sources from your team, then you just flat out stand a better chance. And I think right here in game 4, or game 3 rather, as we get game 4 almost underway, I think that is the primary thing that made a difference.
Well, it's that team play that's so critical, and I think part of it is they also did a good job of shutting down Get Over, excuse me, Get Over and Slothish, taking them out of the play, not allowing them to get involved, and leaving Becky kind of out on their own. And that's going to be critical going forward, because yeah, at lower levels, it may be possible to just have one player hard carry. At this level, it's not going to work. You need to have an entire team involved. And yes, Becky is a force to be reckoned with. But alone versus 3 other players that are playing well as a team, that's just not going to happen.
No, it's not. I mean, there's nothing to say against a team that is working together beautifully. And that's the whole thing about threes, is that it's a team game. There are very few people on each team, but when you get that synergy and that cohesion and that just general understanding of where everyone is and what they're gonna do, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's nigh on unstoppable, compared to a team that may be a little bit more disorganized compared to their opposition.
Just a few seconds gone here in match number 1, and we're not getting the early start that we've seen earlier, but we are getting pressure already on the side of Lincoln Land. It'd be nice to see FSU, if they want to take game 4, strike first and really try to extend that lead out. Though they did do a good job of, even as it slugged evenly through the mid-game, coming back at the end and showing that they are still in this to win this.
Slothish won't get to the ball in time. It's Adrian's job. Becky, great pass across the Slothish. The second the ball came off of that sidewall, you knew this was going to be a goal.
Oh yeah, it's a great clear, a great transition upfield. Hyania just not quick enough to get up in front of that one. And that's that chemistry and that coordination we've seen strike those transition plays again and again and again for Lincoln Land all throughout the season and all throughout tonight.
Up high from Adrian. Keeping possession. That second touch was exactly what was needed. Takes it past one. Had Manny waiting in the backfield for a pass, but didn't have enough pace on the ball to get it out. Manny getting Goomba stomped there, so has to wait on it. Pass one gets demoed. Hyenia playing the nuisance in the corner. Adrian and Becky facing off in midair. Slothish up high. Manny up higher, but has the ball taken away. Not yet again, Lars. Not a lot of consistent possession here. I'll stop short of saying it's very South American ping pong, because it's been a little bit. Teams have held onto the ball a little bit longer than that, but it's not far off.
No, it's been quick back and forth, but they are getting a couple of follow-up opportunities. It's not just a one-off in the transition and then you're done. And I think that's a good balance to strike, because when we talk about that pressure cooker, you really don't want that developing on either end of the field. So get down the field, get a few offensive opportunities, and then maybe it's just kind of time to reset for everybody. You just have to be very careful at how you allow that to happen. If you're transitioning off offense, be careful, especially if you are FSU. Lincoln Land is so fast to punish in the transitions.
Becky high off the sidewall. What in the world? Maybe was going for some kind of a musty flick, but didn't quite make that flick happen. Oh, great, dangerous from Hyenia. Manny's still up in the air, but not enough boost to make this work. Get over. Working with Slothish, trying to get to this ball in time. The pass still comes out, but then gets sent long. Hyenia. Double commit from FSU Blue. Not the greatest. Becky, great pass towards Slothish. This one is just inside of that post, giving Lincoln Land their second goal of this game.
Second goal, and in very similar fashion here. Becky to Slothish on the transition. Get over just doesn't even really need to be involved. They've had 3 shots to their name, but none of them have resulted in a goal or even any real pressure that's developed into anything. Hyenia, Manny, and Adrian need to find a way to shut down that combination and finish off a goal-scoring opportunity. If they can't find a way to put one on the net, then this inevitably ends in favor of Lincoln Land Community College.
Oh, what an angle from Adrian. Mr. Lars, break this down, please.
Slothish and Becky double commit on this save attempt. It ends up just dropping it down, and typically when you end up off a defensive miscue and the other team scores, they'd be saying, oh, you got to clear the shooting lane. You can't just stop the first shot. They did clear the shooting lane. That was well wide. That was a very flat angle. That's not a good spot to be taking a shot from. Is Get Over listening and they heard me say that they haven't needed to do anything? Because now they're here and they're ready to put this lead right back at 2.
Lovely half backflip as well, just to cushion the ball off of the wheels of the car. I'm a big fan of those kind of shots, because it sometimes can give the ball a little pace, but most often actually drops pace off of the ball, acting as a sort of change-up shot for the defense to read. And almost always you're expecting a ball to come off of the car at a similar, if not faster pace. So the fact that all of a sudden it gets slowed down like that is a great way to throw a defender. And clearly it worked out there, and especially helping the ball not to just kind of fly off target as well, because he was coming in at quite a clip. But that one worked out perfectly. Get Over, trying to avoid this bump. Ball still in the Lincoln Land corner. Becky will see this clear. FSU have just over a minute to change the story here. They're still down by 2.
You know, I was about to call out that in all this excitement, we haven't noticed that we're down within a minute, and this should be another goal. Here's Get Over securing. We'll go ahead and say securing this goal here. Get Over to Slothish. Slothish back to Get Over to finish this one off. 3 goals, 53 seconds. We've seen FSU get pretty close to that pace that they need to make that happen. But right now, this game just is not their way.
100% goal participation on the part of Lincoln Land, something that I am not used to seeing. Okay, actually, Becky's first shot was just registered there. Right now, Becky only has, well, I say only, 3 assists and 2 saves, and now the 1 shot to their name, but man, I mean, what a player that is able to just kind of meld and work with their teammates to the point where they never need to put those shots on target. You know they're capable of it, but it doesn't need to happen if need be. Hyanea pulls this one back with 27 seconds left. I don't know if there's going to be quite enough with the way Lincoln Land have been playing so far.
Yeah, it's a tall order in 25 seconds now for them to get this back, especially as Get Over puts another shot on target. But we called out Lincoln Land in game number 3 for not having the entire team involved, for allowing Becky to just play by themselves, be the only goal scorer, and really the only player making a huge difference on the field on that way to an FSU victory. But now, hold on. Wait a minute. The preemptive caster curse?
Do you believe in miracles? This could happen. It's such a cliche. Ugh, it's such a cliche in casting to lean on.
No,
it
just
could happen.
Go high,
you never know.
just go high and stay high.
Okay. I was actually about to do it, and I was like, no, that will follow me the rest of my life.
Well, one last goal-scoring opportunity here for FSU. They need to find a way to make it happen, and it's just touched wide by Manny. Lincoln Land takes this one in 4, but what a great showing out of FSU. It took them a little while to come alive, but once they did, this was a battle.
A battle indeed. I mean, that it was so even. FSU had 3 saves. Lincoln Land only managed 2. 4 assists for Lincoln Land, 3 for FSU. They, I mean, 100% goal participation across the board, which is something that I always love to see. The shot total, I mean, what's that? 5 for FSU. Get Over totaled 5 all by their lonesome. 9 absolutely for all Lincoln Land players. I think it's one thing to watch a game, but I think, you know, we talk about, thank goodness, how this game isn't played on paper, but at some point you kind of need to let the numbers tell the story. And for me, yes, this was a very close game 4, but the way the numbers were looking, it always seemed that it was going to go in Lincoln Land's favor. I'm glad that FSU Blue managed to pull one game off of Lincoln Land, but it didn't really change the overall picture of this series. I hate to say it.
Oh, Leachy, you say you got to let the numbers do the talking. At the end of the day, there's really only 2 numbers that matter: your score and your opponent's score. And at the end, as we see here, Lincoln Land just has a knack for having theirs be a little bit higher than their opponents. And overall in the season, that's held true. But that is it for Lincoln Land versus FSU. But it's not it for NECC Esports here in this Rocket League Tuesday. I am going to be done. Leachy's going to be done. Thank God for your ears. You're getting Foof back and Bash from the past for our final matchup of the evening. We're going to take a short break. Make sure you stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
This is the beginning of something special, something different. The games may change, but competition and skill do not. Students coming together to represent Fresno State with support and leadership. Fresno State students will discover and develop their potential. From all walks of life, esports players are passionate, driven, dedicated, and bold. They'll train, learn, and grow together, striving to be the best gamers and future leaders in our community and world.
Rise up. Esports has come to Fresno State, and it starts now.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
This is the beginning of something special, something different.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean...
NECC Rocket League week number 8. My name is Baz from the past, and joined alongside me is the one, the only, the lovely Foof. Foof, how are you doing on this fine evening, my friend?
That is twice that I've gotten this introduction, and I'm thankful for it a second time as well, Baz. I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Week 8 action. We got Missouri Baptist and UC Davis getting ready to hit the pitch shortly, so I'm so excited. I hope you are, man.
Oh, I'm absolutely excited. I get to finish off my night with NECC. It does not